one that they ask for a lot. Methadone, yeah, do you have a question? It could be. It could be one of the drugs used. Yeah, could be. Again, it would have to depend on why they're in hospice. If there's somebody in severe pain from end-stage disease, possibly. Morphine is the most common used for that type of situation, but it can be. Yeah. Methadone. You've probably heard about methadone clinics. People that are addicts using methadone. It is still an opioid. It still can cause the feeling that they need in order to feel, quote, normal. It just doesn't have those negative, fatal side effects, okay? It can be still addictive, but it doesn't have those effects. It can be used, you will hear of people that are in chronic pain that have been given methadone, so you can't make an assumption that they're a recovering addict. It has a long half-life, which is good to extend the effects, but bad because it can have also negative effects as well. There can be dependence, there can be withdrawal from it, and it does affect the respiratory system. It can cause respiratory depression and death if too much of it is taken. So it has to be carefully titrated. People that are given it go to methadone clinics and may be on it for a long period of time. The fentanyl family, you've heard of fentanyl, right? Fentanyl was made infamous by the Michael Jackson and the Prince deaths. Very unfortunate, okay? It's a short-acting, parenterally administered, so injected agonist, okay? And it's an opioid analgesic. It is used actually alone for short procedures as a type of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm losing it now myself. To put you to sleep, an anesthetic, okay? I've actually had it used for, they sometimes use something like this even for things like a colonoscopy, okay? It also can be put in a patch for the terminally ill. We just heard Miranda talking about someone whose son chewed on their fentanyl patch in order to get the high from it. And it can be supplemented with oral morphine as well. Okay? But generally it's used as a short-acting, parentally administered opioid analgesic for short procedures, and it also can have that effect of putting people under for a very short period of time. There are agonist-antagonist opioids, and they were developed to provide anesthesia without the negative effects of the opioids, okay? Opioid antagonists, pure antagonists, are used for overdoses or for detox for someone who's coming off of a drug, trying to detox and get off of the drug to stay off of it. The agonist-antagonists, there's an example here of pentazocine, and it's the only one that's in oral form. It does cause respiratory depression, but not as much as with the agonists. It does have abuse potential. It's right now not on the DEA schedule, but it may be added. Okay, so this is one of those agonist-antagonists. Trying to make them safer, they have these kind of mixed effects. There are partial agonists. Okay, these are Schedule 3 DEA, and these are used to treat opioid abuse. Okay, so the idea here is that for people that are morphine dependent, okay, it actually suppresses their withdrawal symptoms. For people who are stabilized opioid dependent patients, it precipitates withdrawal, okay? So it could be given to someone to reduce their withdrawal symptoms, but for people who are opioid dependent, it can cause withdrawal. So it may be used in different ways for different types of patients to get them off the drugs. The opioid antagonists, we've already talked a little bit about Narcan, is available. I think your book only talks about injection, but since it's been published, it is available for a nasal spray. It's easier to administer. It is the drug of choice for treating agonist or mixed opioid overdoses. We've all heard about this. It reduces the opioid-induced respiratory depression. It's actually miraculous and has saved many, many, many lives. Naltrexone is a long-acting, orally effective antagonist. And this is maintenance for people that are now opioid-free, okay, formerly opioid-dependent, and also for people that are in alcohol abstinence, okay. It helps to reduce, to mitigate some of the negative side effects from the withdrawal. There's also an oral opioid receptor agonist, okay, and a norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. You guys don't know what that means yet. But we know that norepinephrine is released in remember you see it in these synapses, right? And norepinephrine's effect on the body is actually one that is somewhat antidepressant, if you will. So if remember how the little vesicles that released the substances into the little synapses, okay? And they kind of had their effect, but then they got sucked back in. There are some drugs that are made to keep the good feeling chemicals out there in the synapses, and this actually inhibits them from being taken back up, okay? So this is something that's used for moderate to severe pain, and it makes people feel a little bit better. And it's one that's been used from diabetic neuropathy. People have very extreme pain in their extremities, particularly their ankles and their feet, and other chronic pain. There is an addiction risk from it. There's a risk of something called serotonin syndrome, which happens when those chemicals don't get sucked back in. It can react with other antidepressants, and it can have those adrenergic hyper effects. It's adrenaline, right? It's epinephrine, but it is used for chronic pain. Tramadol is a drug that came out where they thought, this is a great opioid-like drug, but it's not. We're not going to have the dependence problems. Wrong. Okay, it wasn't even put on the schedule when it first came out, but now they've had to actually add it to Schedule 4, so it's low down the trail there, but it does have addiction potential. It does have antidepressant type effects, like I talked about with the other one, but we all know that when people first go on antidepressants, there's that increased suicide risk, okay, with a lot of them, and that happens with that. This is another one that inhibits that reuptake of norepinephrine, but also serotonin. Those are feel-good chemicals. But it is used for pain. It's very commonly prescribed. I've seen this in public health a lot, actually. It can cause GI problems, and there are some dependency and withdrawal associations with it now. So it was upgraded to a DEA Schedule 4. In dental use of opioids, we know that we can use them in combination. They should be used for acute pain, but they're not indicated for chronic pain. So in dentistry, I just gave you, and I'm going to post this because I really want to get to our quiz. We've got like 15 minutes, and it's not going to take very long to take it. So go over this, okay? One of the things we've talked about, it's all stuff we talked about already. It's just a summary, okay? One of the things I do want to stress for you is that for people that keep coming back for issues, treat the underlying issue. If someone refuses to treat the underlying issue, you shouldn't keep giving them drugs. So the most important thing we can do is get people into a pain-free state so they don't need this, okay? And all the other things we talked about, it's everything from your book. I just kind of put it in a couple of slides for you for things to remember. All right, we got, for each of the questions, there's only 10 questions. You're going to I'm going to give you 60 to 90 seconds to answer, and then we're going to move on. So you got to get with it. Come get your clickers, and we'll get our quiz done. You guys want to do this because you want to know what's going to be on the test next week. These are going to be on the test next week.
Really?
Yes.
Did you get my text message?
No.
I the group text message.